good evening, or actually afternoon. It is 4:48 Minnesota time here, p.m. And I thought I would just check in with you and see how you are doing. Thank you again for your subscriptions. Thank you for your visits. Don't care for some of the comments, well, one in particular, but hey, that's part of these channels, as we all know. Just wanted to let you know, and I know you all know, and can see these signs, these continued signs and symptoms of these birth pangs. 2 earthquakes, of course, today. One here in the United States, and one that is very, very horrific, of course, in Turkey, and I believe Syria, in that area. And I'm going to show one of the videos. Now, keep in mind, the one that's going over to Turkey is very, very graphic. So, and it's always very hard to look at with any type of children or anything like this, but it's something else, and this is something that Jesus said would happen. That, again, the birth pangs. And if people cannot understand this with what's going on in our world, let alone our country, along with these things, I mean, we're talking again 2 earthquakes here in one day, I believe. They are in denial, delusional, or both. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth. So, and my thing here is, I guess, what my goal is for Jesus, number one, for God, is to speak to the people that do come to this channel. There is no, again, there's no fear-mongering, it's straight up facts. And it is getting you prepared, as I'm trying to do with my family, for his coming, for this rapture. Again, I think that word is overrated a little bit, but it is what it is, for him coming to get his children, for him taking us out of this absolute demonic chaos that is, my God, going to get much worse, much worse. And we may be here, of course, even to witness the fact that it's as it progresses, and I'm sure we will. You know, again, depending on what time when he comes, we're going to be witnessing these things. And as my grandma used to say, she'd say, "Yep, Robert Joy, you're gonna see some things. You know, Jesus will come and get us before, of course, the Great Tribulation. However, you will see some things." Well, I'm seeing some things, as we all are. So again, I'm going to click over here to our first thing here, which is in New York. And then again, I warn you and caution you with this second one, I believe, over in Turkey, that there will be some images that are very, very hard to look at. But it's just really looking at this and hopefully gaining people's attention about this.
Looking at the skyline right there, I just want to mention that, you know, we were just talking about the potential of an earthquake near Buffalo, New York, and the USGS, the United States Geological Survey, which is responsible for officially monitoring every earthquake in the country, has just now popped that up 2 kilometers east-northeast of West Seneca, New York. They're calling it a 3.8, but initial reports were anywhere from a 4.2 to a 4.4. And the Canada earthquake system was measuring it before the USGS. So overall, it was a slow response from the USGS in getting that information out. But you guys on Twitter and, of course, our newsroom, all very active exactly at 6:15 when this earthquake occurred. We'll know more about it. 4.4 is nothing like the 7+ that was going on in Turkey, and it's within the realm of, hey, we get them on the East Coast as well, but we just want to make sure everyone's okay, and we'll be monitoring the news and let you know what's going on with that. 41 degrees outside, cloudy.
Okay, so we will stop this, and again, I give you a word of caution. We're going to go over now to the earthquake, the horrific earthquake that happened in Turkey and those surrounding areas. So if you just hang on a minute, I will get over there.
On the streets of northwestern Syria, children are wailing, buildings have flattened, and local hospitals are full of bodies. The cause, a devastating 7.8 magnitude earthquake that hit the country on Monday. It was a painfully familiar sight for many Syrian families and rescuers, exhausted by what has been nearly 12 bleak years of bombardment and displacement. Mounds of concrete, steel rods and bundles of clothes lay where multi-storey buildings once stood. In the rebel-held town of Jindaris in Aleppo province, Hamdo al-Sheikh is desperately searching for his family.
I'm waiting to pull out my brother and his family, him and his 7 children. They pulled out someone, but it was not them. They took him and went away. Each is pulling out his own. May God help us.
Millions in northwest Syria have been left vulnerable by years of conflict, according to the United Nations. Strikes and shelling have already traumatized the population and weakened the foundations of many buildings. The following distressing and graphic images show a man sobbing into a bundle of sheets, inside his newborn baby, killed after a building collapsed. The White Helmets Rescue Service, founded in rebel-held territory to treat those hurt in bombardment, assisted with search efforts. The group's head told Reuters that the volunteers are in a race against time. The cold winter weather has added another challenge for rescue workers, who say families have been left exposed in near-freezing temperatures and heavy rains. Regional Emergency Director for the World Health Organization's Eastern Mediterranean Office, Rick Brennan.
When you think of what's going on in Syria right now, a long-standing humanitarian crisis, still getting over COVID, a huge economic crisis, cholera outbreak, and now this additional crisis in the context of a harsh winter and major fuel shortages. It's almost like the perfect storm, and the convergence of all these crises is leading to enormous suffering.
The UN believes 2.9 million people in the region have been displaced, and 1.8 million are living in camps.
So again, it's just it's something, but it's a reminder that Jesus is speaking, and again, God be with these people. Jesus, we pray for them right now, all these little ones, which is very, very hard to imagine and to look at and to understand that there's so many people that are under there right now. And I guess when I see that, it reminds me of 9/11, with watching the towers collapse in real time, of course. Many of us, we saw it, and some of us were there. Some survived it. But just knowing that when those towers collapsed, and not to mention, my God, people jumping out of buildings, out of them, of course, but when they collapsed, I remember saying to myself, my Jesus, all those people are gone. So when I think about this, and I see this with the absolute devastation and horrific images that we've just seen there, it brings me back. It makes me think about the loss of life that you see instantly, that you just know. There's no question about it. And yes, there's miracles that Jesus has some survive, as we saw, of course, with the 9/11. That there was people that survived in that hellish existence and realm. But so this is very horrifying. And again, Jesus, we so pray for these people. We pray for these little ones. We pray for these families who are absolutely devastated. And they have to pick up the pieces, literally. Mentally, physically, spiritually, you name it. They've got to pick up the pieces. The ones that do survive. But again, I wanted to check in with you all. I wanted to thank you so much again for my subscribers, people that are just visiting. And again, I don't care. There was one comment, of course, about, well, you can't even spell train right. Well, you know what? Like I said, if that's all the world had to worry about is spelling train right, I think we'd be okay. So, anyhow, I want to thank you so much. And I guess on the lighter side, for my regular channel, with Busy Kitty and Sally, I did... It didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it. I was kind of in a little bit of a hurry, and I'm sure you could see that. But wrapping up, of course, part 3 of that 3-part series of the Case of the Mysterious Book. So I want to thank you all. I look forward to posting more, and I'm going to be posting a video here shortly about the Revelation. I'm going to be posting a lot of these things: the Revelation, the Antichrist, the Rapture, the Second Coming of God, the Jesus. the Great Tribulation, what else? And of course, I think I said it, the Armageddon. Just things like this to really keep us watching and alert to what's happening. And what I really enjoy is I enjoy when I'm able to see, like there's a couple from 2011. There's, a little bit of rapture pieces, from, 1980 or 81. Just looking at the different things, but especially some of these sitcoms or some of these, well, not the sitcoms, but talk shows actually. Looking at some of these things of how they compare to what's happened in 2023. It's spooky. But again, it shouldn't be a shock to us because these are Bible prophecy that have absolutely come true, and they are playing out as we sit here, stand here, whatever we're doing right now, and watching this video or this show. It's happening right now as we speak. So thank you so much for joining me today. As always, look to the skies and know that Jesus, he's coming. And it's just little things like this that, well, they're not little, but it's things like this that we witness, these horrific things, that is only a reminder, confirmation that yes, he is getting closer to us. There is no doubt about it. And again, I'm sick to death of all these YouTubers out here who want to play God or want to play like they're Moses and want to sit here and say, yep, this is when he's coming. Let's look at this chart. Stop it again. Just stop it. Okay? Just stop it. You don't know when he's coming. You just don't. Look in the Bible. And matter of fact, I posted that. I posted that in the Bible. The verses that exclusively talks about that no, you will not know. Only God knows when he's coming. So, on that great note, again, God bless. Hold your family closer. Watch and be aware of your surroundings, because I'll tell you, as you know, you don't have to hear it from me. It is very dangerous out there. Very dangerous. And I think what gets me also is these murder-suicides with families are off the charts. Just off the charts. So just different crime, or just, different events, horrifying events that are happening. It's different, these car accidents, again, these families, complete families, murder-suicides. Matter of fact, just here in Minnesota, in Bloomington, I lived there for years, 3 people, it was a murder-suicide there in a pickup truck. So, thank you so much for joining me. God bless. Look to the skies. Be awake. Thank you. Good night.